As we prepare to mark 10 years since the tragic mass shooting at Mother Emanuel Church, one young man has consistently turned the pain of losing his mother into purpose. We want to welcome back our friend, Chris Singleton, author, former pro athlete, motivational speaker, father, husband, and so much more. Good to have you back.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great to see you. You've been the pride of the Low Country. We have seen you grow tremendously over this last decade. As an author, you have put out so much work that promotes love and community, and you're going to be releasing your next book.
Yes.
First, why don't you catch us up on what you've been doing these last 10 years?
Yeah, well, sounds crazy, but 10 years is flown by, right? So I've got 3 beautiful kids, 7-year-old, 3-year-old, and my baby girl. I call her my grand finale baby is what I call her.
Is that right?
Yeah. So she's doing well. 3 beautiful kids, married my high school sweetheart. Things are well. You know, I've been speaking, traveling on the road, and then when I'm home, I actually get to coach my little man in baseball, which is new for me. But I'm coaching him. We got All-Stars going on right now, so it's been fun being in that realm of things. Not swinging it anymore, not swinging the baseball bat, but now coaching my little guy has been a true joy for me.
You couldn't find a better coach.
Absolutely.
He's got a built-in pro right there at home.
No
it's
doubt.
fantastic.
Absolutely.
Do you miss it at all? Do you miss playing?
I miss the competition. You know, I get out there and stink it up on the golf course. That's kind of how I get the competition going now.
Oh, okay, all right.
I do miss like the battle between pitcher and, hitter, and so I miss that part of it for sure.
Yeah, so you're picking up clubs now, not so much baseball bats.
Yeah, picking up clubs and trying not to break them with my game, you know.
Right.
So that's the new struggle that I'm addicted to. I love it. It's so much fun. So yeah.
I think it's wonderful. Well, you've really devoted a lot of your books to children, but you also have written a book for adults. And when you go out and you do your talks, is that geared for kind of all ages, or tell us a little bit more about that circuit that you've created for yourself? Yeah,
so every year I'm on the road about 100 days out of the year,
wow.
Speaking to about 70% students, and the other 30% is like corporate America. Last year I did 110 gigs. Some of them were local here. The majority of that is between K through 12, when I'm speaking to teachers about how important they are and how much they meant to me in my life and my mom and what she did for students, or I'm talking to kids about loving one another, treating each other with respect and kindness. So that's what I get to do. I'm so honored that I get to do it. I've done so many schools in the Low Country, but 43 of the 50 states now. Across the nation.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the message that you send out to the communities, but let's talk about your mother, Sharonda Coleman Singleton. She was a pillar within the community as well. Remind us a bit about her, if you would.
Yeah, track coach at Goose Creek High School, children's church pastor at Mother Emanuel, and I always say she was my biggest fan on the baseball diamond. So, it's been 10 years since I lost my hero, but my hope is that by the way that I live my life, people would say this young dude was raised the right way.
Yeah.
And now that I've got kids, I see it when people say, my son's able to shake somebody's hand and looks them in the eyes and says yes ma'am or no sir, and just having that pride that you have for your kids. I hope that my mom, even though she's not here in the flesh, would still have that pride, seeing how I've grown up.
Yeah, what a legacy that she has left behind. There are, I guess, one of 2 ways that people can go after a tragedy such as this, and you chose the right path. Obviously, you came from such a wonderful family that instilled that within you. What do you say to those who may be entertaining going down a far darker path?
Yeah.
How do you come out of that after something so tragic?
Well, I think the most important thing is realizing, hey man, there's some things that happen to us in our lives that we don't control, right? When I went through a really tough part of my life, people would like send me quotes and stuff, and some of them would say like, hey, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Or like, sometimes you gotta play the hand that you're dealt.
Platitudes.
And I saw those things and I'm thinking, I get it, but like, I've got a really tough hand.
Yeah.
And to a young person that's going through something and they hear, hey, play the hand that you're dealt, they're looking at their hand like, what do you mean play this? I've got nothing, right?
Right.
And so for me, the mindset shift was, hey, I don't control what happens to me. We don't, right? But we can always control our response to those things. And so whether we're an adult and we get rear-ended, right? Somebody's driving or texting, they hit us in the back, and do we choose that? Absolutely not. But our response to whatever adversity that we face dictates our lives. And so for me, I said, okay, I didn't choose the fact that my mom was taken away by a self-proclaimed white supremacist. What I can do is I'm gonna be the opposite of this guy. And so I've dedicated my life to being the opposite of him. And so that's what I do, right? And I think that mindset has helped me go down the right path, for lack of better words.
You're such an inspiration to so many people. So tell us about your latest book. You've done some wonderful work, and I just love the message that you try to instill in these young children. But I love this, love your neighbor. I mean, that is such a perfect message to send out 10 years later.
Yeah, so it's honoring my church family. That's what I want to do with every single project. And throughout the story, you know, kids will be asking, well, you know, what if they don't look like me? What if my neighbor doesn't look like me? What if their skin is darker or lighter? What if their hair is looser or tighter? One of the lines says, what if their skin is wrinkled or rough? And then it says, why does it matter? Love is enough. Yeah. And so just teaching kids to love everybody. I got my 7-year-old reading to my 3 and my little baby girl. And he's able to read it, so we put it like a 2nd grade reading level. Yeah. It's a rhyming book, so it's fun, it's energetic, and it just teaches, right? We've got the ABCs of love, putting love into action. Yeah. And of course, I put forgive in there because that's a part of my story for F. And so we have so many different ways that we can teach our little people to love one another. That's
beautiful. Yeah. I just love that, Chris. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. Well, you do have a book release event that's coming up June 17th, so you can pre-order your book, and the first 1,000 that are sold will get signed by Chris Singleton, so make sure you get your book. The book release event, where is this being held?
Yeah, we're going to have it at my church, at Awaken Church, and then we've got commemoration events throughout the whole week honoring the 9 lives that were lost and survivors at Mother Emanuel.
Beautiful. All right. And for anybody who can't make it to one of those events, where can people find your book to buy it?
People can find it. Wonderworks Toys locally is going to have it, as well as chrissingleton.com. So anybody that goes through my website, chrissingleton.com, in that shop tab, I'm going to sign every single book for their families.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on all your success, and Godspeed for the future.
Amen.
Great to see you again, Chris.
Thanks.
We'll be back after this.